The Tale of Genji is the world's oldest full-length novel, written approximately 1,000 years ago during the Heian period. Its author is Murasaki Shikibu. Yuriko Yoshitaka will play the role in the 2024 NHK Taiga drama, Hikaru Kimi. Murasaki Shikibu is a bit of an unusual name, isn't it? Was his real name or pen name a Heian aristocrat like Hikaru Genji, the main character in the Tale of Genji? Along with trivia related to Murasaki Shikibu, we will explore its true nature. Murasaki Shikibu is an aristocratic woman, her real name is unknown. Murasaki Shikibu was an aristocratic woman who was active in the imperial court during the mid-Heian period. Murasaki Shikibu is said to have been known for her proficiency in reading Chinese books, which at the time were considered for men to read. Her proficiency with the koto, a type of stringed instrument, to be that of an instructor, and her proficiency in Japanese poetry. There is also an anecdote that her father regretted her, saying, "If only she were a man." However, if that were the case, the Tale of Genji might not have been born. Her father, Murasaki Shikibu, was Fujiwara Tomitoki, a scholar and poet. During the Heian period, it was common for a man to visit a woman in a commuting marriage, and it was customary for children to be raised by their mothers. But Murasaki Shikibu lost her mother at an early age and was raised by her father. Murasaki Shikibu said that she loved books so much that she read all the poetry collections and books she had at home. Perhaps her talent was honed by the influence of her father, who had many famous poets in her family, and by her environment. By the way, Murasaki Shikibu is not her real name but her nickname. The name comes from Murasaki no Yu, the heroine of the Tale of Genji, and her father's position, Shikibu no Jo. It is said that before she became famous for the Tale of Genji, she was called Fuji Shikibu, a letter taken from her surname Fujiwara. Her name was said to have spiritual power, and her real name was rarely spoken during the Heian period. Therefore, Murasaki Shikibu's real name has not been revealed. Hikaru Genji's profile is introduced here. What kind of person is Hikaru Genji? What is her real name? Introducing the brilliant profile of the main character of The Tale of Genji, in 3 minutes. Her main job is as a wife who serves the emperor. Murasaki Shikibu wrote The Tale of Genji during the Heian period, but being a writer was a side job, so to speak. Her main job was as a wife to Emperor Ichiji's Chugu, the equivalent of legal wife, shoko. Fujiwara no Michinaga, who recognized Murasaki Shikibu's talent, selected her to teach Japanese poetry to his daughter, Akiko. The story depicting Hikaru Genji's love life became popular in the imperial court, where Murasaki Shikibu worked. His reputation soon reached the ears of Emperor Ichija. He was given the nickname Nihongi no Mitsubone, because the emperor praised him, saying, "The author of the Tale of Genji has the education of a Japanese writer." By the way, in the Heian period, maid was not a term used by men to refer to their wives, but rather to women of aristocrats who worked in the imperial court. Subone is a word used to refer to a veteran wife who was given a private room. Click here for an article about Murasaki Shikibu's career life. What kind of woman is Murasaki Shikibu? Introducing a sparkling lifestyle that deals with sexual harassment at drinking parties. My rival is Sei Shonagon. Murasaki Shikibu served Emperor Ichiji's empress, Shoko. He later famously said, "When I think of this world as my own, Mochizuki has nothing to do with it. This world seems to be meant for me, like a full moon in the night sky. It's a perfect world." She is the daughter of Fujiwara no Michinaga, who wrote the song "Yo." However, in fact, there was a woman who served as Emperor Ichiji's chief priest before Shoko. That woman is Sadako, who served as the wife of Sei Shonagon, the author of The Pillow Book. Sadako's father was Michitaka Fujiwara, the older brother of Michinaga Fujiwara and the Kanpaka. However, when her father suddenly dies and her older brother loses to Michinaga in a succession battle, Sadako's position becomes precarious. At that time, the Fujiwara family had their daughter married to the emperor, and the child born to them became the next emperor, and they held the real power of politics as regent and Kanpaka, giving them power as they wanted. There was always political maneuvering behind the women who were loved by the emperor. Murasaki Shikibu, who served Shoko, and Sei Shonagon, who served Sadako. In reality, the two men served at the palace at different times, and it is thought that they never met each other in the palace. Even so, they must have been like rivals in many ways. In The Shadow of Glory, the troubles of youth, Murasaki Shikibu served as the empress's wife and became a popular writer, leaving a mark on future generations. His life is so glamorous if you just take a look at it, but there is one surprising side to his life. His early days were full of hardships. She lost her mother at an early age and was taken in by her father, but her father's family, which was once a powerful aristocrat, had declined by then, and her father eventually lost his job. Murasaki Shikibu, who was in the prime of her life as a daughter, had no strong backers and may have been able to do nothing more than spend time at home reading books. After that, Murasaki Shikibu left Kyoto and went to northern Japan with his father, who was appointed as Echizen no Kami. However, he was surprised by the harshness of the winter and returned to Kyoto. Then, she married a man who was her father's boss, a man who was probably more than 20 years older than her, as his second wife. Eventually, she gives birth to a daughter. But because of her husband's showy relationship with women and little regard for her wife and children, he ends up spending lonely days. Moreover, her husband also passed away within a few years. Knowing the bitterness and transience of his life, Murasaki Shikibu picked up a pen and began writing the Tale of Genji. Writing "aware" in kana characters became a big hit. At some point, while the lady was changing her clothes, she was changing her clothes, and while she was changing her clothes, there was a moment when the time was right. Once upon a time, among the many women who served the emperor, there was one who was very much loved by the emperor, even though she did not have a particularly noble status. The Tale of Genji begins with a sentence reminiscent of a Cinderella story. The mother of the main character Hikaru Genji was loved by the emperor. However, she was exposed to jealousy and envy in the inner palace, and she died suddenly after giving birth to Hikaru Genji. It is said that The Tale of Genji is a piece of literature that describes Mono no Aware, and Makura no Soshi is a piece of literature that describes Wokashi. It's difficult to accurately translate both in modern language. But aware refers to the deep emotion that arises in your heart when you touch something, and wokashi refers to the feeling of being intrigued. It is a word that expresses beauty and loveliness. The Tale of Genji and the Pillow Book have one thing in common: they were written in kana characters by women during the mid-Heian period, a relatively long period of peace. During the Heian period, kana characters were created by breaking down kanji, and soon came to be used by aristocratic women as a way to write down their feelings. To put it simply, The Tale of Genji is an interesting love story about Hikaru Genji's free-spirited career as a woman. Over the years, it has been criticized as a gossip novel that is merely provocative. Despite this, why were so many manuscripts created and continued to be read? Many novelists and manga artists are still working on modern so please check them out. The light and shadow of the glittering aristocratic society. The swaying heart depicted by the frank human drama. The stories written by Murasaki Shikibu have remained unchanged even after 1,000 years, and have been translated and read in more than 20 countries around the world.